Patch notes, buffs, nerfs, changes, new hero? No new hero. Nerds and nerdettes, the time has come for the 18.6.1 patch notes. There is a lot to go over here. A lot of hero changes, some buffs to pirates and mechs, a comical change to demons, and a long-awaited elemental nerf. Will it be enough? I guess only time will tell. Let's not waste any more time, we've got a lot to go through, let's hop right in. Okay, first up is Party Portal. Wait, what the fuck is Party Portal? Duels? What the fuck is duels? Okay, I guess forget about the patch notes, guys. I guess there isn't anything related to bet. Oh, here we go. Okay, so first up, Nefarian Qigong. Terrible hero with no place in the game anymore. This dragon was only viable when mechs were the king of tribes, but now doing 7 damage to massively statted elementals in the endgame has essentially 0 impact. Queen Wagtoggle gets a buff. She now gets +1 health with her hero power. On face value, it doesn't seem like much, but look at what happened to Sintragosa when they gave when they gave that dragon the extra +1 attack to buff its hero power. That made Sintragosa go from a bottom tier to mid-tier hero. So I think this change makes Wagtoggle playable now. Plus, with some of the changes to the tribes, I think she could be a mid-game monster, a hero where you can stay at Tavern 4 a few extra turns and get those hero powers in on key minions like Hydra, Deflectobot, Bronze Warden, etc. to build up your board. Curator, the Amalgam now starts with 1 extra health. Obviously this will help, but I don't think it makes him much stronger. He may only get a few point bump in his APS, but that's about it. Hook Tusk. Her hero power is being reverted back to its original state, but now at the cost of 1 gold. This is actually what I thought they should have done with her with the original nerf. This will allow Hook Tusk to generate triples once again with her hero power, or search for specific cards from a lower tavern tier for your build. But now her early game won't be broken. I don't know how much this will help her, if at all, but honestly I think it will, and my guess is she'll operate kind of like as a poor man's Jandis. Less consistent, but with a similar playstyle. Rat King, a buff of 1 additional attack to his hero power. Now he will give a +2/+2 buff when you buy a minion that matches the tribe of your hero power. For those of you who don't know, because you never pick Rat King because he sucks, his hero power will swap each turn between the different non-banned tribes in the game. And on your buy phase, when there are minions that match your hero power's tribe, when you buy them it gives them the now +2/+2 buff. I do think this will help. I kinda expect this to have a similar impact again to the change they made to Sindragosa. So I expect Sindragosa, Wagtoggle, and now Rat King to all be around the similar power level in that C tier category. And Rakanishu, the obvious change to Rakanishu. You can now target a specific minion with your hero power. A good change. This should have been how the hero power worked from the start, but I digress. Rakanishu is probably just Edwin now, a C tier hero. Jorge the Fallen. The cost of Jorge's hero power has been reduced from 3 down to 2. Will this help? Yeah, probably. I think this will actually have a big impact on him. But this is partially because of the changes to the tribes, which we'll go over in a bit. The games look like they'll probably slow down a bit, which bodes well for a hero like Jorge. And couple that with the reduced cost of his hero power, I do expect to see his APS jump up to where? I don't know, maybe C tier, maybe even B? Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, well, let's be honest, probably not as good. But moving on. Ysera. Ooh, change to the hero power. Now when you refresh, there will always be an extra dragon in the shop. So now instead of being forced to pick up whatever crappy dragon was in the shop, you can roll and get more buy options for dragons. Very good change in my opinion. I do expect this to greatly help Ysera, but I'm not exactly sure how much. Her mid game was god awful prior to this change, and this change will certainly help. So maybe she moves up to like a C tier hero, or maybe even a bit higher. Maybe she'll be a pair and triple queen, and that'll bump her up into the B tier. Her? Wait, is Ysera female? For some reason I assign all dragons a female gender. How unprogressive of me. But I do like the change, excited to play her, him, it, whatever. The Great Alakazam. Hero power reduced to 1 cost and effigy has been removed. Effigy was a terrible secret. I think this will help him quite a bit. I always compare him to Patchwork since they essentially do kind of similar things. Assuming you get Ice Block up with Alakazam, you can survive 1 extra loss, and that's the similar concept to how you would play Patchwork. I've always thought that Alakazam has more potential than Patchwork, and with Patchwork being a C-tier hero, I expect Alakazam to jump up slightly stronger, maybe around like Crag or Deathwing power level. That seems like a huge jump, but I'm just trying to follow my own logic here. I guess only time will tell, nerds. In Galakron, hero power reduced to 0 gold, but no longer freezes the minion. Honestly, he'll still suck. Probably a bit better now, but nothing game breaking. Tess. Now when you hero power, the entire board will be your opponent's last warband. I think. I'm a little confused on this one, but the way I'm reading it is that when you hero power, the entire opponent's warband will be available in the shop. And the easiest way for me to illustrate this is to give an example. So say you're on 8 gold, you're on Tavern 3 and you hero power. Prior to this change, only 4 minions from your opponent's warband would be available since there are only 4 available spots in the shop on Tavern 3. But now, assuming your opponent had a full board, the entire shop will be filled with your opponent's warband. All 7 spots. A really good change for Tess. It removes a lot of the RNG from hero powering with her. A lot of the times you felt punished if you hero powered and didn't get the card you were looking for. Oh nice, my opponent has an early brand, I can pick it up. Hero power, oh great, 2 rock pools, a war leader, and some other useless junk. Just like Ysera, not sure the impact this will have, but excited to play her nonetheless. And the final 2, Elise. Recruitment map now costs 2. At first glance, yeah, whatever, not a big deal. But when I think about it more, you can probably do some sneaky cool power leveling stuff with Elise now. I actually think this is a pretty big change, going out on a limb here, but in higher level lobbies where people know when and how to aggressively power level, I expect Elise to perform much better, maybe even putting her around like Yogg power levels. And then finally, Barov. He gets a refund of 1 gold on ties. Nice. That's all I've got to say. Nice. So a lot of hero changes. I think a lot of heroes will move up to the C tier, and some of the changes to say Jorge, Ysera, and Elise could sneakily make them really strong heroes moving forward. And when you couple those hero changes with the tribe balances, which we're about to go over, I do expect to see a lot more diversity of play, not only from the tribes themselves, but with the heroes as well. Okay, on to the minion changes. Wrathweaver now has 3 health. So now, instead of not picking this card that has 1/1 in stats, you can now not pick this card that has 1/3 in stats. Seriously, this is how you address demons, Blizzard? Talk about a head scratcher. But tinfoil hat time. They know demons are broken and are in the process of a complete rework for the tribe. I mean, that has to be the only explanation for this. And then we're going to skip down to Iron Sensei, since I want to talk about pirates as a whole. Sensei is now a tier 3 minion. It's a good change, allowing you to find them earlier in the game to help scale better with mechs, but also there will be more of them, making it easier to triple. But unfortunately, this is the only change to mechs. I would have liked to see them address their god-awful tier 5 options, or should I say option, singular. But at least this is a start. I do expect the games to slow down a bit, so making this change should help boost the mid-game mech builds a bit. And then pirates, lots of changes to pirates. Yo-Ho Ogre, he's now a 2/5 but has been moved down to a tier 2 minion. And honestly, probably one of the strongest tier 2 units in the game now. And then South Sea Strongarm moved down to tier 3, but the stats were reduced to 4/3. Plus Ripsnarl Captain buffed to a 4/5. So you can see they're trying to make early and mid-game pirates more viable. Before, you either tripled early and hit a Hogger, or you just didn't go pirates. There wasn't any other viable way to play them. But now with these changes, you can pick up some Yo-Ho Ogres, pair them with like South Sea Captains on turns 3, 4, and 5, and then grab like Salty Looters when you level up to Tavern 3, and you'll have a much easier time scaling with those minions. Pirates are all stat based, no death rattles, I guess except for Boat, or divine shields or poisons, things of that nature, so making them easier to scale makes 100% sense. And there is another change to Dread Admiral that should help pirates as well. We'll get to that in a minute though. Lightfang reverted back to its original form, +2/+2 buff. Should have been done a long time ago. This will help Menagerie builds see more play, but also give people another tier 5 minion they can grab not named Nomi, Bran, or Genie that doesn't suck. And speaking of Genie, move back to a tier 6. This is a big nerf and it comes with an overall theme of the elemental nerf. Gar has also had its attack reduced down to 5 and Little Rag has been dropped down to a 4/4. I thought they would move Gar down to a Tavern 5 unit, but they left him at a 6. And these are all welcome changes. Genie was still the strongest card in the game, so moving to tier 6 will do a few things. First, just slow the game down. Before, people would find a triple and power level to 4 for a chance to discover Genie. It made the games super high rolly. Now it may not make sense to do that since you can't discover the most powerful card in the game on Tavern 5 anymore, so things should slow down. Second, it removes a lot of the RNG nature of this meta. Now Genies will be less prevalent in games, reducing the chances of getting super high impact elementals with the cards, plus seeing less opportunities for triples and high rolls into things like Rags and Gars. You should expect to see more stable of a meta moving forward. A few extra turns each game because you won't have 3 people with Genies, and one of them keeps making triples with the Genie death rattle, discovering Little Rags, and running over everyone else in the lobby. And to follow up on the pirate theme, here's the Dread Admiral change. It's now a +2/+1 buff instead of a +1/+1 when one of your pirates attacks. Again, fits that theme of helping pirates scale a bit better. And last but not least, the Amalgadon Nerf. If you didn't know, Amalgadon was the best standalone unit in the game. You can throw it into any build. With its adapts, it could get Poison, Divine Shield, and that's without Murlocs and or mechs in the game. It's a really strong card. So essentially the nerf is one last adapt when you play it. It no longer counts itself as a tribe. So if you play it on a board completely full of, say, only elementals, you get 1 adapt. Before this nerf you would get 2. So not a huge change, but one that will definitely hurt the card. And that's it. I think we knew elemental changes were coming, but I'm glad to also see the changes to pirates. Will they be enough to make elementals not painstakingly annoying and make pirates actually viable now? I think they actually will. And pair that with the changes to the heroes, I'm excited for the new meta. A little bit slower games, more diversity in winnable tribes and heroes. I mean, I had so many games recorded, but they were all elemental wins. I refuse to make videos on a broken tribe about the same thing over and over and over again. Oh, here we find a triple, and we level up to Tavern 4, and we discover our Genie, and then we level up again, and we get a triple, and we get a Little Rag. But now I can actually go back to what I do best. Half-assed narration, put over some mediocre Battlegrounds gameplay. But that'll do it for me. Hit the damn like button if you want to help me out, but only if you like the video. If not, hey, hit the dislike button. I'm looking forward to hopping into some games and dominating some lobbies with these changes. But good luck in your games. Godspeed, nerds.